attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. Now, before I do begin, I meant to switch over to this as a thumbnail, and well, I also wanted to elaborate a bit more on what I said at the end of the last video. The original idea was basically Midoriya, experiment goes wrong, him and his sister, mental battle over reality. Things go terribly wrong, the facility explodes and they're in a new world, where they are the villains. Hero society never formed properly. In fact, something went wrong in the past. So our favorite lovable heroes, well, a lot of them are seen as freaks of nature, of monsters, since they're the only ones with powers and abilities. Just like Midoriya in Class 1A, they would be seen as either vigilantes or villains, because of some of the things they've done with their quirks. In fact, I've actually thought about doing a My Villain Academia series. Anyways, I might put that in a poll. Now, let us begin. We do have Izuku Midoriya, who he wakes up in bed. And, well, he does have to check his phone, seeing if he has any new information about today. It's your typical Monday morning. He had to work late on a Sunday. Usually he has the weekend off, but he thought he just had to go in, do a few things, but it turned into a whole field mission. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does climb over Momo and get out of bed, then beginning to make breakfast. He's going to be making breakfast, then all four of them do have to leave, since they're going to be meeting up with other members of the team. And, well, it's going to be a bit annoying. They don't respect Midoriya, and they don't really see him as the old him. They think he's gone soft, when in all actuality, they've just gotten harder. Now, Midoriya. He does make breakfast. Mei, Momo, and Toru do wake up. Mei doesn't want to get out of bed, but as soon as Midoriya walks over and sets down some hot chocolate, she should at least get up and begin to drink it. And Momo and Toru, they begin to eat, along with Midoriya. All of them quickly going out of the apartment, into the elevator, down to the first floor, and then walking out. The company car waiting for them. As Midoriya begins to drive to the headquarters. And you do see what is going on. A lot of people on the streets, well, they either got their head down or they're just simply trying to avoid the police force on the streets. And they do have to be ready with ID in hand, since some of them may not be out at the proper times. There's been a curfew put into effect, and if you are out past that curfew, you will be shot on sight. Now, they do arrive at the headquarters, and go through the whole process with getting the car parked and, well, everything. And they do head inside. Midoriya quickly on the phone with someone, hanging up as the elevator opens. to reveal the Big Three. Mirio Togeda, or Toga. I don't really remember his last name. I'm trying to think about it. Anyways, now, they begin to talk. Mirio is talking about the current field mission that they are on. They're trying to find the rebellion. And he was put in charge of the task force to take them down. Asking Midoriya exactly what has been going on. Trying to get a field report from him. Trying to understand anything about the situation. Asking Midoriya if he's really begun to slack off. Midoriya saying no. He's simply been a bit too busy. Besides, finding a rebellion who lives in the city isn't all that easy, you gotta know that. You lived here. Hell, this place changed a lot over the last 5 years, and I think you can understand my problems with it. If I was gonna hide in the city, well, I'd go through certain ways, certain pathways, but those are more well hidden now. And if you would find them, then it would be a lot simpler. Now, one thing I did forget to mention. I've, well, altered a bit of things. The big three are the big three for a reason. They're the top 3 hunters, and they've racked up a lot of kills on the rebellion. In fact, they're actually feared. Then you do have Midoriya. From what he knows, he used to be in the top 3. They called him one thing. They called him a Grim Reaper. And it was quite simple. It was because he could do anything he wanted. But ever since he's been on the back burner, he lost his spots. In fact, he's dropped down to around number 5. And he's been trying to work his way back up. Now, Mario does begin to ask Midoriya if he's come across any interesting quirks, since he's still trying to look for that 4th one. Or, well, my 5th really. Besides, as he does simply bring his hand up, saying that the quirks he's given have been pretty interesting. He's been able to use them differently. And, well, the info thing is useful. But I am still curious. Come across anything? Not really, sir. Ah, bummer. Anyways, keep me updated. Him simply walking away. As you do have Nejire and Tamaki. Both these two arguing about what they're going to do. Nejire believes that they should head underground into the sewer systems. And simply begin to look there. If the rebellion is underground, that would be a very good place to start. They might simply be using those sewers as pathways and or supply lines. Meanwhile, you do have Tamaki, who simply goes on stating that they should focus on drug dealers and gangsters for right now. They could be used as a front. He already had to murder a few the other day, and he noticed that he might have dug into the rebellion's side. Simply just stating that he threw a bone straight through one's head. And he freaked a lot of those guys out before he begins to laugh. Now, you do have Mirio, who goes on stating to these two that they just need to be very, very careful. They're dealing with the rebellion. Remember what happened last time. Midoriya was nearly killed. And you really shouldn't joke around. If the Grim Reaper can get shot in the head, and almost die, I wouldn't put it past the rebellion to kill both of you. Anyways, now, I do believe we're actually waiting for the smart one. Now, with that being said, that is whenever Antelli does walk into the room. And she simply goes on stating, before simply taking a drink of tea out of a thermos, as she does actually slow down, getting her entire speech ready and in order, looking at the mannerisms of everyone, before time speeds back up, stating that before they do ask any questions before Midoriya does that, Midoriya being confused, asking what, as he goes to bring his hand up, and he almost does knock something over. Now, this is where Midoriya simply brings a shadow out of his finger and catches the object right before it hits the ground, saying that she really shouldn't do that. Well, maybe if I didn't have to deal with your incompetence, then maybe we could actually get somewhere. Now, from what I have been looking into and trying to gather upon information and on further studies, I do believe that you all need to go undercover. If you do, then there is at least a 2.3% chance of you encountering the rebellion, and that is currently estimated upon your 10.8. So, that means that your chances not only rise, but they get higher and higher. And if my precognition suits me very well, I believe that you will encounter them within estimated numbers. Now, if we are done here, I do need to get back to my studies. I've almost mastered another 13 languages. And, really, the organization does not pay me enough, nor do they simply have me deal with your incompetence any longer than I need to. Her getting up and going to walk out of the room. Midoriya simply just telling her that if she really didn't want to have to deal with them, she would try something else. Her stopping and turning around, asking Midoriya exactly what does he mean by that. Him going on to state that she would simply do one thing. She would use her abilities out there on the field and try it. Him simply just walking over and standing in front of her. Simply just saying that he did give her most of her intelligence and her smarts. He does at least know that. Besides, don't think that you're all high and mighty just because of it. You're going to master another 13. Good for you. How long did it take you to master the first? How dare you? I'll have you know that. No, you won't. If you simply wanted us to catch them, then you wouldn't be sitting around. You would use your brain and head out there with us, instead of just sitting behind a desk and complaining that we're not catching the bad guy. Now, how about you come with us and do your fucking job? And Telly's just staring at Midoriya, looking around the room. She does see Toru, Momo, Mei, and Mirio's face. They do show question. And, well, you do have Tamaki and Nejire. Both these two, the look on their face is stone. Midoriya does pose a very valid point. She's not going out there when she could simply, probably, use on the field data to find them. But what is she simply doing? Sitting down and reading books. That's it. Is that what she's been doing while on company time? Well then, that just poses a question that just poses a question they will have to ask to their superiors. Now, with that being said, they do head out. The big three taking flight as they all talk with each other and split up, going to fly around the city and see what they can find. Meanwhile, Midoriya and these four, they begin to talk here. May is going to go off and work on something in the tech lab. Midoriya might be able to help her test it out, since it will have to involve a quirk. And, well, Momo and Toru, they're going to be sent on field missions for right now. They're going to go investigate some small reports and or possible sightings of the rebellion. And a simple man. A man who refused to have his quirk taken away. He was seen as a bit hot-headed. In fact, a few of the rebellion members were. Now, let us begin by switching over to someone else's point of view. We do have Katie. She's been, well, a bit odd and different. Ever since she found out that Midoriya is her brother, and exactly how things are, she did have to try and fight back. Whenever the reality benders bended reality, they tried to take that piece out of her head, the piece of Midoriya's brain, and simply replace it. They did, but the memory is still there. Some of the things that she has experienced is still there. That wasn't something that you can simply just wipe away from her mind. In fact, they weren't thorough enough with her. They were too busy rewriting everything else. And you do have the fact that Bakugo and a few other people are in the rebellion. Now, she herself, waking up in this new world, well, she didn't know what to do. She was scared and frightened, unsure of anything. And she eventually ran into them. Bakugo somewhat recognized her. He at least thought that she was familiar looking. And she had to run off with him. She seemed to be, what's the best way to say it, cleaner. Bakugo's clothes were dirty, ragged, well, ripped up, and he wasn't wearing one of those bracelets that you have to. In fact, you have to cut one of your sleeves a certain way just so you can fully expose the bracelets. If you do not have it, you'll be shot. The bracelet monitors whether or not you have a quirk or not. If you are wearing one, then you do not have a quirk. Or you do. Actually, no, you don't have a quirk. If you are wearing one, then, well, you don't have to worry about it. If you have a quirk, then they will simply try and take it, or recruit you on. It does not matter. And the rebellion is fully aware of this situation. They've tried fighting. They've tried killing. They've actually been labeled as terrorists. And Bakugo is no different. He took Katie in whenever he first found her, and tried to get explanations out of her. She sounded crazy. She was talking about, well, how different the world was, and exactly what is going on. And it did not make sense, since the world she described to Bakugo sounded peaceful. It sounded nice. A school where you can be taught how to use your quirk, instead of a place where they simply just take it away. And heroes. People talk about old school heroes all the time. Ones from the previous centuries. They haven't been around for a long time. The only heroes here are those hunters that try and kill them, that try and take them down every day. In fact, it's almost disturbing sometimes. Especially with the fact that they're hailed as the heroes. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And sorry for not posting another video last night. I was having a bit of a problem with keeping my breath straightened out. And I do hope that you guys understand that. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next part.